I can agree with Irene and Konstantin. These guys look like a rock star.
Yeah. So how is it? What's he? Can you describe how his hairstyle and his dress as much as you can?
His long hair, his Lizzie coat, I think.
Dreadnoughts. I think they're called dreadnoughts. Yeah.
I don't know. Eyes.
Yeah. Okay. That's a okay. Good. Can we? Anybody have anything? Let's look at another picture. Let's look at another picture. One other picture. Here we go. All right. I have to adjust this on my screen. You may need to. So here's another guy. Olga Sechinskaya, you're on my screen right now. What do you think about this guy?
I think he's a political or maybe political thought. Political, maybe top manager.
Manager, politician, okay. All right. Olga Vasina?
I think so. Yes, it's people who work with other people because he has represented youth and appearance. I think he can be a politician or maybe some social work in social department, maybe something like that.
Yeah. Olga, can you imagine spending time with this guy?
Maybe. I know it depends on circumstance. I think
it depends on the circumstance. Yeah.
Because if he is a politician, I think it will be interesting for me, but not so long.
Not for long. Okay.
It's hard for me and speak long about politics.
Okay. Irena, how about yourself? What about this guy? How is he dressed? What sort of impression does he make? When you look at this, you say, "Oh, what a."
Well, the thing that also he's maybe politician or maybe he's a businessman. Also maybe a top manager because he's wearing suit and his hairstyle. And about if will I spend the time with him.
Yeah.
So I think it's also depends about his intellect, because if he's wearing suit, it still don't mean that he's smart and intelligent. It's not everyone who wears suit. Kind of these people.
Okay. All right. Good. Well, Konstantin, it's your turn.
I suppose he is maybe singer of 70s or maybe even 60s.
Sinatra.
Like a Frank Sinatra.
Could be. Well,
I don't know exactly, but I think that he is not a sportsman and hardly he is a politician.
Hardly a politician. How about this guy again? This guy, is he a sportsman or a politician?
This guy?
Yeah.
He is too aged for a sportsman.
Okay.
And he has a very long hair for a politician.
All right. Okay.
Maybe he's sportsman in the past.
Maybe a sportsman in the past. Well, okay. Well, good. I want to show you two more pictures, okay? These are, I told you I took these myself. These are on billboards. I took these in Austin. So let's look at this one first. Okay, here we go. There's the whole picture, the entire picture. Elena, would you read what's on that billboard?
Yard called 338-0900. David Comey. David, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The attorney that rocks. Principal office, Austin, Texas.
Principal office, Austin, Texas. All right. The attorney that rocks. The attorney that rocks. Olga Suchinskaya. Does that surprise you?
I'm not sure, but I know the meaning of the word attorney.
Attorney. Attorney is a lawyer. Advocate. Huh?
Yeah, it's surprising. Yes, he doesn't look like the lawyer, like the attorney.
He's a special kind of attorney. The question here, injured. If you're injured, then you call an attorney, and he will take action. He will initiate a suit against whoever it was that injured you. Now,
may I ask? What means the attorney that rocks? I mean the phrase.
I don't know.
Yeah?
What does it mean? What does it mean, rocks? What do you think? Konstantin, what does that mean? The attorney that rocks?
I don't know.
He protects.
To ask the same.
Who knows what that means?
I think that he's protect rock stars in jazz.
If you say that something rocks, whoa.
No, it's mean like I think that it's mean like if he will be your attorney, so it will be like the explosion. I mean, in the jar that he will protect you, like.
The attorney that rocks. Well, you say, well, who rocks? You know, you say like. Professor Smith, he's not here with us today, so I can say, oh, Pete rocks. Pete Smith rocks. That means he's just good. The group Pussy Riot, they rock. They rock. You know, that it's a very positive. It's a compliment. Rocks is kind of very cool, gets things done, very entertaining. No. The attorney that rocks. The attorney that rocks. Konstantin, would you want this guy for your attorney?
Would you like? Sorry.
If you were injured and you needed an attorney, would you call this guy?
Maybe, I don't know if I have injured in America. Maybe I call him because I don't know another.
Who would call him? Who would call him? Olga, Irena, would you call him to be your attorney?
It'd be a good practice. I don't know. But in Russia, it's maybe a little dangerous.
A little dangerous. A little dangerous. A little risky. Okay. Well, let's look at another picture. Okay. And you can figure out what I'm going to show you now, because I'm going to show you the entire picture of the first guy. Here we are. Helping injured Texans. Okay. So this guy.
Two a very different person, but they do the same work.
They do the same work. They do exactly the same thing. They do exactly the same thing. Now, of the four of you, who Olga Vasyno, if you needed a lawyer, which one of these two would you take? Number one or number two?
I think two.
Number two. Number two. Olga Suchinskaya, how about you? Number one or number two?
I think number two also.
Number two. So far, so good. Irena?
I don't know.
Yeah?
Yeah, because if the number one has such the specific commercial on the billboard, so maybe he's some kind of special one. So maybe he's genius in the law practice, I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe I will try him.
Aha. Well, good for you. Konstantin?
Maybe the first attorney, because this has a fake teeth. Maybe he's a fake attorney.
Fake teeth.
Well, I think I showed you these two photographs because we base a lot of decisions that we make on stereotypes. You know, we look at these people and we say, oh, this one here, he's dressed well, he has a nice smile, he has a nice haircut. I would like to spend time with him. This one here has funny hair and a mustache, and he's wearing a leather jacket, and he's probably a biker or a rock star. A biker or a rock star. That we make impressions. We make impressions, and we make decisions based on stereotypes. Based on stereotypes. Irena, is that a good way to make decisions on stereotypes?
I think no.
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 No, I don't think so either, because stereotypes, as we said earlier, may or may not be based in facts.
Yeah.
You know, they're based on emotional or kind of about generalizations. And they're loaded with biases and prejudices, and they can be very distracting. Very distracting. I'll tell you, both of these billboards are within 1 mile of each other on the same highway, and I don't know whether these people are good attorneys or not. But I do know that they advertise a lot. All right. Well, I want to look. I want to go back to our assignment. Let's see, where were we? We asked you to look at. Oopsie daisy. We looked at. We posted this on the. We posted 4 links to 4 episodes of this TV show, All in the Family. Gloria and the Riddle, We're Having a Heat Wave, and Pay the $20. Olga Suchinskaya, did you see any of these? Did you watch any of these videos?
I see the 3 videos.
The Riddle? You watched the Riddle?
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Did you watch the episode Gloria and the Riddle?
Yes, I saw the episode, yes.
Okay, and Olga Vasyna?
Yes, I see. Saw 3 episodes.
Okay, Irena, did you watch these?
No, I haven't time.
Okay, and Konstantin, did you watch them?
I watch it, but I wish to understand a bit more.
Okay, well, let's see if we can do that. So, Gloria and the Riddle. I should tell you that these are episodes of a TV program that was very popular in the United States in the 1980s, some 40 years ago. And
so I'm sorry, 80s or 70s?
70s, I should say, in the 70s, in the late 70s. All right. And it's the story of a family in New York City, a working class family. And we have Archie, the father, and Edith is his wife, and Mike, who is their son-in-law, and Gloria, who is their daughter. And in this first episode, we get to meet Archie and Edith and Mike and Gloria, and then later in the episode, we see Tammy. Now, those of you who watched it, can you describe Archie? Olga Suchinskaya, what about Archie? What is he like?
He's a man, he's about 60, I think, years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's with, I forget this word, with a little bit honor, I don't sure.
What about his political views, Olga Vasina? Do you have an idea about that?
Political. I think if I understand exactly, he against woman's liberation, I think, and I don't remember. I just wrote that maybe it's Archie. Men control women's life, needs control.
That's good.
Women, yes, and in this episode, I think he says only about liberation and that a woman can't be clever than men.
Okay, very good, very good. So so that gives you an idea about him. What about Edith, Konstantin? What do you know about her?
It sounds
what can you tell about her?
Edith or Edith?
Edith.
Oh,
Edith.
Thank you. Edith is the wife of Archie. She's a kind woman. She's naive a little bit, and as a result, she is a smart woman. She decided the riddle.
Okay. All right. So we'll all right. Now, so we have Archie, who has a very traditional view of the role of women in society. We have Edith, who is who has a very traditional view of marriage, and Archie and Edith have a very traditional relationship. How about Mike and Gloria? What are they like in contrast with Archie and Edith?
Gloria, she isn't so naive as Edith, but she's a kind woman too, and
she's kind.
fight or fought for women's liberation, and she pretty woman.
Olga Vasina, what about Gloria? What about Gloria?
I think she's a clever woman. She's very nice, and she don't think that women's. She think about liberty of women, and at the beginning of the episode, when Mike, her husband, downstairs and say, where is the hole without butter?
They have an argument. They have an argument. They argue.
Yes, she says that you can do it yourself. Why I need to do it? Something like that.
Actually, I think she accuses her husband of being a male chauvinist.
Yes, I think Michael would like to be as traditional as Archie, but Gloria is a hard woman. She kind, but in her she wants to be under man's power, I think.
But Olga Suchinskaya, what does Michael look like? What does Michael look like? What does he look like?
He looks like maybe not very.
Yeah. What is his hair like? Is his hair more like the rock star, the attorney that rocks, or is his hair more like the other attorney?
Yes, maybe like a rock star. With long hair. I don't know this word in English, uсы in Russian, like his Константин
Mustache, по-моему.
Mustache.
Yeah. So he has long hair, and in the 1970s, what kind of men had long hair?
Hippie.
The hippies and the counterculture people. So even the way he looks is stereotypical, but his behavior doesn't completely agree with that, because well, he would like to. He's someplace on the scale between Gloria and Archie, I think. All right, so Mike is a kind of hippie. So we have so far. Let's summarize what we have done. We have kind of in. Let's find each of you, please, a word or two about Archie's character. What kind of stereotype is Archie, Olga Suchinskaya?
I think he's not very strong man, maybe. Not very.
Okay. All right. And Irena, what do you think? What do you think? Oh, Irena, you did. All right, Konstantin, what about Edith? What's she like?
I don't know. She's ordinary American woman.
Right, traditional. What does that mean, ordinary American woman?
I think that many American women are similar to her.
Okay.
Like her, but I think that many Russian women are like her, and maybe German women women I don't know, but in German they say Kirche, Kuche, and Kinder.
Kinder, Kuche, Kirche.
Yeah. Definitely.
Now, Konstantin, that characterization that you gave, you know the word for that, don't you? You know the word for that, the term for that Kinderkirche.
I study German in our institute, so sometimes.
Well, I want you. What I'm hoping that you say, yeah. What I'm hoping that you say is that that's a stereotype of German women. All right.
And what does it mean from German?
Huh?
What does it mean from German? Not everyone knows.
Okay.
Константин. Кухня, церковь
и
дети.
Что еще раз? Кухня, дети.
Кухня и церковь, кирхи.
Okay. Спасибо.
Okay, now let's, Irena, so tell us in English, because Professor Marston doesn't speak Russian.
Kitchen, children, and church.
Kitchen, children, and church. Irena, is that a good role for women?
Of course not.
Of course not.
It's a stereotype.
It's a stereotype, exactly. Okay, well, let's see, Olga Vasina. What we talked about? What about Gloria and Mike? What? Give me a word or two about each of them.
Mike is I don't know how it's in English. He depends on Gloria view, I think, and Gloria more serious about life.
All right. So, okay. So those are the people.
She's more politician than Mike.
She's more what?
Political.
More of a politician, more politically. Okay.
And more. One moment, I try.
She's an activist. She's an
activist.
Actually.
Yes.
Activist. Yeah. She's an activist. All right. So that's good. Those are good. I think you have an idea of what this family is like. Now, the story of this particular episode concerns a riddle. It's a riddle, and that Gloria introduces at the beginning of the episode, and it takes 30 minutes to solve the riddle. So let's talk about the riddle. Who would like to tell us the riddle? Who could tell the riddle? Konstantin, is that you?
Two passengers drive in a car. The car was crashed, and the one man was killed. When the
who were the passengers in the car? Who were
father and the son.
Father and the son. All right. And who was killed?
Father was killed.
Okay. And then what happened?
Son was carried in surgery, and the surgeon said that I can't operate this boy because he's my son.
All right, that's a good riddle. How can that be? How can that be?
How come?
How come? And Archie and Edith and Mike try to solve the riddle, right?
And his friends, Archie's friends.
and Archie's friends. All right, and Olga, how, what kind of answers did Archie find? Olga Suchinskaya.
Archie didn't find the key to this window, but his wife did. He did find the key, find the right answer for this riddle.
Right. They have trouble solving this riddle. And Olga Vasyevna, what does Archie do to try to solve this riddle? Archie is very, very keen to solve this riddle, but he can't. What does he do to try to get the answer?
Firstly, he wants to know. He wants to know it from the Laura's friend.
Right. He asks Gloria's friend,
yes,
Tammy. Yeah.
And then when she doesn't say it, he goes to a bar maybe, and he just take a riddle to his friend, I think, and just wants to give to get answers, but they don't know, and just they say we give up and just say answer to us, but he can't do it. And when he come back home, his wife downstairs and say him the answer. Says, I know I got it, and say the answer of this riddle.
And Konstantin, what is the answer to the riddle?
Answer. Edith said that Surgeon isn't his father, she's his mother.
Surgeon is his mother. The surgeon is the mother, not the father. When you heard that answer, Olga Suchinskaya, were you surprised?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
I can't go answer this riddle myself.
You could not answer it. All right.
Yes,
so the surgeon was the mother, and everyone was surprised, and we see that Edith, who maybe gives you the impression of being a very simple woman, not particularly clever, a good traditional wife. It's Edith who solves the riddle. It's Edith who solves the riddle. So the surgeon is the mother, and Mike says, "Oh, I should have seen that coming." And Archie says, "No, it couldn't possibly, because surgeons are not women. Surgeons are not women." Olga Suchinskaya, in Russia, are surgeons men or women?
The both, and the men and the women can be surgeons in Russia.
Yeah.
For example,
sorry, it's the famous surgeon in Russia is only man, very famous, only man, no one girl, only no one woman.
No one women. Irena,
Yeah.
Irina, what about what is in Russia? Are surgeons? Would you be surprised if a surgeon was a woman?
No.
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 Why not? Is that more common for surgeons to be for women to be surgeons?
No, but you just don't have the special sex in this job. It could be also woman and could be also man.
Mm-hmm. Konstantin, what about you? What is it unusual for a woman to be a surgeon?
Yes, of course. There are many women. There are many women in Russia who are a surgeon, especially in not in big clinic, but as I don't know, local surgeon.
Yeah. In the
polyclinics. I don't know, polyclinic,
yeah, in the polyclinics, yeah.
Sometimes and in clinic, hospitals. But I agree with Olga that there are no great surgeon, famous surgeon women. But I heard that there are many surgeon women during World War II in Russia, and there are many films about it.
One of the issues lately in American life, one of the political questions, has to do with whether women can serve in combat units in the military. Women serve as administrative officers or intelligence officers, that kind of thing. But the question is, can a woman be an infantry person? Can a woman be I guess it would be a Ryadovaya, like a regular soldier, a regular soldier. Yeah, a regular soldier, and a fighting soldier. What do you think, Konstantin? Should women be soldiers?
I hope that it isn't necessary, but in Israel there are many women who serve as a regular soldier, and there are some women who serve in in Russian army as a regular soldier. But I think it isn't as Archie. It isn't women's job.
Right. Olga Suchinskaya, what do you think? Should women be soldiers? Should women serve in submarines? Should a woman be a sailor and serve in the submarines?
I think no.
Okay. And why do you think that? Why no?
Maybe it's a stereotype, but I think the woman should I don't know how to say, should they should give leave to people, but not to kill them.
Okay. That's men's work, huh?
Yes.
That's men's work. Olga Vasina, what do you think?
I think it's not a woman's work, because it's hard, and I think that a woman more sensitive and we can't, as a woman, for example, I can't how to say, don't think about something. If something happened with my friend, or not my friend, just with people, because I am worried about it, about people. And I think it's not for a man, but it's really woman characteristic. And I think that soldiers not work.
Professor Marston, I wonder if you could maybe kind of continue the continue the conversation about women and kind of roles of women in society.
And can I say a few words about the army?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that to serve an army doesn't mean to kill the people, first of all, because it could be the different kind of services.
Right.
And also I think that today is already the modern world, and sometimes the woman can be stronger than men today, actually.
Really?
And yes, and I think that it's normal that women can just serve in army. Well, it depends, of course, of the country. I think in Russian army it's horrible to serve, but in Israel army it's good.
Okay.
So I have a question about what you just said, Irena. And that is, what makes it awful for a woman to serve in the Russian army?
Well, because here it's a different kind of serving in army. I mean, they don't receive some kind of profession, and they don't know how. A lot of soldiers here today, from I said, don't know how don't know how to shoot actually. And maybe for the 1 year of their serving, they shoot it just once, so it's not a soldier. And also, it's about the relations inside the army between the highest position and the usual soldier.
And so, what kind of jobs do women in the military do?
Well, it could be different ones. I can say just in Israel because I know because I served. So
served in the Israeli army.
Yes.
Whoa.
So it could be kind of the office clerk, but it's the most simple one. But also it could be on the border, SI, for example. And it could be some kind of logistic. It could be, how to say,
more administrative work?
Yes, administrative work, but it's kind of not on the top.
Yes. So you would say that there are not any women who are generals?
Who are general?
Yeah, no officers.
I said this?
No, I'm asking you.
No, it's maybe not a general, but the woman could have the high position, maybe major.
Well, that's really interesting. And so, how does that description differ from your experience in the Israeli army?
I didn't understand the question again, please.
Okay. I'm asking now about your experience in the Israeli army.
Oh, to tell about my experience?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was on the checkpoint in the Jerusalem, and I checked the Arabs who came from the Palestine to Jerusalem, and was with the M16 all the time, the 2 years, and we shoot it every month, so I know to shoot well.
And that considered dangerous work?
Yes.
And were you ever in a dangerous situation?
A few times, yes. And my friends too, and also it was some, how to say, I don't know how to say it correct, but the ones, my friend, the one Arab, he was 16 years old, he attacked my friend, with a knife.
Mm.
And another one, also my friend, he also was attacked with a knife, but it was girl, 16 years old.
Mm. And so, how was that attack met? What happened to those attackers?
So the officers and the policemen and the soldiers took them, take to the police in the checkpoint, and started to talk with them, and also they were beat them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
like
arrested?
usual. Yes, sure. Yes.
And were your friends all right?
Yes. Thank God.
Okay, well, so would you say that there's a difference in the Israeli army between men's roles and women's roles from your experience?
In Israel army, I think no. Maybe a little bit, because still the women in Israel army don't go to the, how to say, to the territory, for example, to find some Arab and to kill them, or so they can't. It's just one position, but it's very small one, and it's very hard to come there for a girl to be this kind of soldier that you can go and to kill.
Into a combat zone, we would say.
Yeah, in the dangerous places, though.
Yeah. This is has been this issue of whether women should go engage in active combat has just changed in the United States this year. And up until now, women have not served in a combat zone as active fighters.
Already not?
They have not until now, but now they will do that. They can do that. In Afghanistan, a lot of women soldiers in support positions, not as fighters, have been killed. And it was judged that any soldier faces the same kind of danger as in whether they're actually shooting a gun or not. So that has changed in January of this year, 2 months ago. So the other problem for women in the military has been the rise of violence against women soldiers by other soldiers who are men. And this is a very serious problem, and now being discussed. So it's a hot topic. And then in our Congress, they have just voted to renew the bill, the law called Violence Against Women Act. If I can spell it out, put it out there. There. It's called VAWA, and it offers legal protection to women, and it's just been renewed to include some minority groups who had not been protected before, including gays, American Indians, and illegal immigrants.
You know, this is a fascinating conversation, and I have to tell you that speaking of stereotypes, that I have had to reconsider some of my stereotypes. Irena, I guess I had a stereotype of an Israeli soldier, and you have your experience has made me reconsider my stereotype. Constantine, when I first heard that you would be joining us and that you were a machiniste metro, I had a stereotype of what that was, and I find that that I had formed an opinion based on my stereotype. Olga Suchinskaya, I had a stereotype of what a member of the KPRF was, and you kind of have changed my stereotype. I changed my opinion. I'm grateful to all of you for that. I'm grateful for all of you for that, and I want each of you to take my situation and perhaps learn from it that stereotypes are hasty, and as we said earlier, maybe they're based in fact, but maybe they're not. Maybe they're not completely reliable. Maybe they're not completely reliable.
One of the things, just to go back for a minute to All in the Family, Gloria is a young woman who we might have called in the past a dumb blonde. Because she doesn't always seem serious. She seems kind of giddy sometimes, like her mother. And so when she turned out to have strong opinions and be smart, it attacks our stereotypes about dumb blondes. And having been a natural blonde most of my life, I've had some of those stereotypes to fight. And it's always nice to play with it. Which reminds me, one of the times when I was characterized as a dumb blonde, I was standing in a line, and the people behind me were speaking French, and I speak French. And I realized that they were describing the babe who was in front of them, who looked like a dumb blonde. That was me. And So I decided I needed to let them know that they shouldn't use French as a private language, even though we were in the U.S. So I didn't quite know what to do, and I didn't want to really be rude, although I felt as though they shouldn't be undressing me right there. So I turned around and asked them what the time was in French.
No.
It got their attention, and they stopped talking about me. But a dumb blonde is a caricature, a stereotype of women, and so they always expect, if you're blonde. Another stereotype about women is blondes have more fun. And so sometimes if an actor changes her hair color from dark to light, she might say in an offhand way, well, I wanted to find out if blondes really do have more fun.
Do we have, are there stereotypes? We don't have a blonde with us here today. Elena, are there stereotypes of blondes in Russia?
Yes, sure.
Yeah, Konstantin? Yeah. Blondinka?
We loved at blondes, but too many blondes is not natural blondes.
Ah.
It's simply to make this color by
when I was young, we would refer to that kind of woman as a bottle blonde, full blonde.
Yeah.
Okay, good discussion today, ladies and gentlemen. We talked about this TV episode, Gloria and the Riddle, and we saw how the characters in this riddle, in this episode, had exhibited stereotypical characteristics. We made judgments about them based on what they said and how they looked. And then the riddle itself the riddle itself, the answer to the riddle hinged on our understanding of stereotypes. We were all surprised. We said, "Oh, a surgeon could be a woman," and just like Archie and Mike, it took a while for us to figure out the answer to the riddle. Professor Marston, what other kind of stereotypes can we talk about? What about?
How about stereotypes about professors? When I say professor, what stereotypes do you have about professors? Konstantin?
I have no stereotypes about professors. I think that it is a very smart people, intelligent, clever, and some stereotype is that all professors are aged men in Russia, but today it isn't so. There are many young professors, especially in our institute.
Okay, that's interesting.
I have a stereotype about Russian teachers.
Yes.
It's cool. I think that, in my opinion, that of course it's not true, but it's kind of stereotype that most Russian teachers in the school, they are old women with their glasses, which one is strong, and her name's some kind of Lyudmila Petrovna. With the Svetlana Vasilyevna, yes, and her how to say, her school of teaching was still from the USSR, and her behavior like still she's in the USSR, some kind of that.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So that's interesting. Does anyone else have an idea about Russian teachers?
I think, I don't know, but it's not for all teachers, but I know that very teacher who likes your work very much and give it all his life for this is I think in the Russian schools a lot of women as a teacher, and a lot of these women those women they are alone and don't have children in age. Older women doesn't have children, and that is why they are very serious and hate pupils.
I have a question to you. Is it your stereotype or it is your opinion about our teachers?
I know, because it's maybe stereotype. I don't think so, but sometimes it's really so. And
I don't know. There are many young and pretty women as a teacher.
I know it's now. Oh, it's more in Moscow, but in the region of Moscow, not a lot young people go to work at school only if they want for
in
boys.
Moscow there are a lot of young women.
I know,
especially at primary school.
I know.
And it's also another stereotype about young teachers in the school.
It's very hard job because old women, it is difficult to them to teach our pupils.
Oh, it's a stereotype because in my school, it's a lot of teachers who are more than 60 or 70, and they teach and they want to.
Oh, USSR teachers.
And they don't want to be retired, and they don't think that they are old and they need to go and have rest and just.
They just, I think they just don't have another life. That's all.
Yeah.
But for the young teachers who just came from the university, I think it's really hard to teach today for our students, not students, for pupils in the high school, for example, because it's very hard. They don't listen, they don't care, they don't want to study, and also about drinking, smoking, and other things. So it's hard.
Wait a minute. Were you making stereotypes of students?
No, about the pupils in there. It's not a stereotype, I think. It's already true.
keep losing my camera. Irena, were you making stereotypes of that they drink and smoke and that they don't pay attention and that?
It's not a stereotype, I said.
It's true.
So, yeah. The student in the high school, the pupils.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, we're almost out of time. Very nice discussion today, ladies and gentlemen, and kind of some very perceptive insight. Next, we're going to continue this conversation next week. We would like to speak about national stereotypes, about Americans' view of Russians and Russians' view of Americans. Now, there's been some of that on in the blog. In fact, Professor Shestakov has given has posted several very interesting links. We are also going to send you a link to an American TV show called The Americans, which is about Russian spies, and ask that you read it. And we will have that up, and that'll be the subject of our conversation next week. Now, I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you very, very much to comment in the blog, and we will work on that. We will work on that over the weekend.
When you write in the blog, then we can have a discussion. And I would especially appreciate those articles that Professor Shestakov has posted seem to be in Russian, and the ones that I have looked at seem very interesting, but I am dependent on the Google Translator to transmogrify them into English. And so anything you could do to talk about their key points would be useful to me, and I would be grateful. Don't pass up this opportunity to practice writing, because it will help your speaking as well. And it's a rare opportunity that you have to write. And besides, I love reading what you write, and I will be sure to respond to it.
Any questions of any of us?
Yeah, and should we watch the TV show that we discussed today to continue to watch or not?
I think you can watch it. I don't think that we will. I think that maybe I would encourage you to see Pay the $20. It's very, very funny, and there's less about it in stereotypes, but it's a very amusing episode, and I think that you will enjoy it. We're having a heat wave. Concerns lots of racial stereotypes. Concerns racial stereotypes more than today. We largely spoke about gender stereotypes. Next week we're going to talk about national stereotypes. And we will give you different shows to watch.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
All right.
And I want to ask about American professor stereotypes to Russian students.
Hello, do we?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
But I think you work a long time and you have some stereotypes about that.
All right. Well, I have been doing this for I find Russian students very much like American students, and by that I mean the very good ones are very diligent and very responsible and very creative, and then on the other hand, there are students who are satisfied to meet minimums. But whether you are an A student or whether you're a minimum student, all students sometimes don't do their work, sometimes sleep during class, sometimes don't pay attention, sometimes don't do their homework. And when I was a student, I was exactly like that. Professor Marston, how about you?
I loved school from the very first time I entered the door, and so that made me kind of a goody two-shoes, I guess. I loved being in school the whole time, and consider myself a professional student. And so the way that I think about the Russian students that I've had as opposed to the American students is that I think that the Russian students have heavier responsibilities. Taking into consideration that I'm in complete agreement with what Professor Leo has said, it seems to me that you have many obligations that not all of my American students have had. And I don't say that by way of excuse, but by being sort of shocked that you don't have more options in what you study, and that affects your time. It always surprises me how many of you live at home with your parents, because it's uncommon here.
Yeah.
And so those are two things that strike me. I know they're not true of everyone, but I really enjoy the students that I have, and those of you present are no exception. I really think it's fun to teach you, and I love the possibility of doing this using the internet. And so that's the best I can do right now.
Thank you.
Every language and culture student that I know is reluctant to speak with native speakers because it's so risky to put yourself out there and expose all of your mistakes. And so I know you have to be brave to do that, but I encourage you to do it because the payoff is great. And I'm working on a blog post about talking to native speakers, which I hope to get posted in the next few days. So anyway, those are my thoughts on students. I've had some very good American students, students that I have taught, even American students that I've taught over the internet tend to be more focused than students that I've had in the face-to-face classroom. So I think we owe something to the medium. Back to you, Professor Nero.
I think we're about. I think that we are about finished for today. Professor Shestakov, any parting comments?
No. Just I'm going to place the assignment into the blog, and I would like to advise you to watch the film, the first episode of the film The Americans. It's about the Russian spies who lived in the US in the 80s. And I think the film is full of interesting revelations about the perceptions of Americans about Russians, and vice versa, about the perceptions of Russians about Americans. So, but to watch this film, you will need to download a program called Hotspot Shield. I will also give you the links, and the TV show itself is on Hulu.com, so where you can watch a lot of American films, TV shows, programs legally. The only problem is that the Hulu.com does not broadcast to Russia, so we need to use this special tool to make your computer anonymous, and that way you can watch, when you install the program and run it, you will be able to watch a lot of newest programs from the US. And the TV show is with subtitles, so it will be easy to watch. Okay.
Oh, so you will say how to...
Yes, I will give you the links. Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you very much, and have a good week.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much.
Have a nice one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.